Good evening. We are live captioning our meetings. Please look in the chat window of our WebEx meeting where you will find a link. Please click on that link to open a web page with the live captioning. I would now like to call to order the public hearing of the Maricopa Community College District Governing Board of June 23rd, 2026. For the record, I will call a roll of the board members. The student advisory representative, Ms. Pamela Smith.
Present.
Susan Bittersmith.
Here.
Kelly Butler.
Present.
Yay. Dr. Narini.
Present.
Jacqueline Smith.
Present.
Marie Sullivan.
Present.
Dr. Thor will be unable to join us this evening, and myself. So 6 out of 7 of the board members are present. We are here to take and read public comments regarding the proposed budgets for Gateway Early College High School and Phoenix College Preparatory Academy for FY 26-27. Ms. Macias, do we have any public comments regarding the charter high school budgets? Okay. Hearing none, I will now adjourn the public hearing of the Maricopa Community Colleges District, and we will continue to our regular board meeting. Do I have to hit this thing again?
Yes.
Oh, I do?
That's
Okay. Let the record reflect that the public meeting is adjourned at 6:31. We are live captioning our meetings. Please look in the chat window of our WebEx meeting where you will find a link. Please click on that link to open a web page with the live captioning. At this time, I will call to order the regular meeting of the Maricopa County Community College District Governing Board for June 23rd, 2026. For the record, we will acknowledge that all board members present during the public hearing are also present for this governing board meeting. So 6 of the 7 board members are present. We have no substitutions tonight, so we will ask one of the Rio Salado students, can you come and help us recite the pledge, please? Will you lead us in the pledge? Yay, thank you. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And now it's time for the student life report from the Rio Salado College. Wow, there's a lot of them. Yes, yay.
Hi, everyone. President Dr. Linda Thor, members of the board, Dr. Gonzalez, members of the Shared Governance Council, and guests, good evening. Next slide, please. My name is Lucero Arciniega. This year, I served as the Rio Salado Student Senator. It's shown me how important student leadership is in creating positive change. Senators serve as the voice of the student body, bringing ideas, concerns, and solutions. Through this experience, I learned valuable skills in communication, collaboration, and advocacy. I participated in the President's Cabinet, gaining firsthand insight into how students' perspectives can influence decisions. I learned that even one voice can make a meaningful impact. In May, I graduated with an anthropology degree. I've experienced Rio Salado as a new continuing student and now a graduate, and I'm grateful for the opportunities colleges provide. Through Rio's civic engagement initiatives, students can develop skills and make a difference. This year, 5 Rio students received the Chancellor Civics Leadership Medallion, recognizing their commitment to civic participation and service. 2 Rio students participated in the Student Public Policy Forum, a district-wide program that develops leadership, advocacy, and civic engagement skills. They organized the Threads for Success clothing drive and hosted a boutique where people could select items to feel career ready. Next slide, please. Rio Salado's commitment to civic engagement was recognized through several honors this year. Rio was recognized by the National All In-Campus Democracy Challenge as having a highly established action plan, an honor awarded to only 167 institutions nationwide. placing Rio alongside universities such as Yale and Johns Hopkins. Angelo Lopez was named an Arizona Distinguished Democracy Fellow. He was one of only 13 students nationwide receiving this honor. Maria Elena Aguirre Foster was recognized as a 2026 All-In Student Voting Honor Roll member for her dedication to empowering students. Next slide, please.
My name is Daniel Ibarra, and I'm the incoming student senator for the 2026-2027 academic year. I'm also pursuing a degree in public safety administration. This year, I served as one of 6 Democracy Fellows in partnership with the Campus Vote Project. It empowers students across the country to increase voter participation, educate peers about democratic processes, and strengthen student involvement in their campuses. Sadly, the Campus Vote Project is being discontinued in Arizona due to funding. Next slide, please. We met with fellows from across the United States, learned about government processes, led voter education drives, met federal Judge Snow, visited the Maricopa County Election Center, and spent 2 days at a retreat in Flagstaff. We learned, made friends, and helped others. Next slide, please. Rio Salado encourages all Rio students to be engaged in available opportunities, and Kelly Shuka, a Rio student, is incoming student governing board member for the next year. Additionally, this year, 3 Rio students were accepted to the Tempe Chamber of Commerce Next Gen Business Fellowship, a semester-long professional development program that students learned about at Rio, and through which they gained networking and job opportunities and connected with like-minded business-driven people. Next slide, please.
I'm Shaniqua Hopkins. I just graduated with a family life education degree. This year, Rio launched the Waves of Student Excellence Award to recognize outstanding current students whose resilience, service, and dedication to learning exemplify the spirit of our community college. I earned the Rising Tide Award, recognizing my commitment to service. It made me keep going, proving my service was impactful. Next slide, please.
Good evening. My name is Maria Elena Aguirre Foster. I served as president of our PTK Alpha Theta Omicron chapter, a democracy fellow, and government relations intern for Maricopa colleges. In May, I graduated from Rio, earning my associates in addictions and substance use disorders. Each of these roles have redefined my mission of helping others and have been made possible due to my proudest accomplishment, over 8 years in recovery from intravenous drug addiction. Education gave me a second chance at life, and I now dedicate myself to giving back and helping others find their own path forward. Now I'm honored to share the incredible work PTK students have accomplished. This past year has been both eventful and rewarding. I am honored to be one of Rio Salado's 2 recipients of the All Arizona Academic Team Scholarship, which will allow me to attend ASU debt-free. Our chapter participated in 2 regional conferences and PTK Catalyst, the international convention. These experiences allowed us to expand our professional networks and proudly represent both Rio and Maricopa. Rio also co-hosted the Arizona Regional Honors and Action Conference, bringing together PTK members from across the state to collaborate and grow as leaders. Next slide, please. Service remains at the heart of PTK's mission. Throughout the year, our chapter participated in numerous service projects, packaging food, clothing, hygiene items, and toys to support individuals and families in our community. Our Honors in Action research project focused on accessibility within the deaf, deafblind, and hard of hearing communities. Through this work, we expanded the PTK Pulse podcast and transformed all episodes into Braille books, which are now housed at Rio Salado's library. Here, they are available for all Maricopa students and employees, helping to increase awareness and access while creating a lasting resource for our community. These photos highlight our PTK experiences, such as our induction ceremony, trip to Catalyst, and other conferences and service events. Next slide, please. As our college project this year, we launched Rio Salado's Alumni Hall of Fame ceremony, honoring Rio's alumni who have made a positive impact in their careers, communities, and beyond. 3 students were selected to receive the first Alumni Hall of Fame awards. The project was so meaningful that the college has also decided to make it a permanent initiative and continue it as an ongoing tradition. Next slide, please. This truly was a successful year. Through our hard work, our chapter came home with several regional and national recognitions. We are proud to be a 5-star chapter with award-winning advisors and officers. We placed in the top 100 chapters internationally and earned the Honors in Action Research Theme and College Project Awards. These recognitions reflect the effort we put into researching issues, developing solutions, and making an impact on our community. Next slide, please.
My name is Aylar Bayati. I'm an accounting major and will be graduating in spring of 27. These photos captured just a few highlights from an incredible year for PTK. Students had opportunities to learn, grow, serve, and have fun together, and our chapter felt genuinely supported every step of the way by Rio Salato's leadership. Next slide, please. This year, 2 of our PTK officers served on the Arizona regional team as regional president and regional vice president. They played key leadership roles in planning and hosting the Honors in Action Conference at Rio last fall and the Arizona Regional Convention in Sierra Vista this spring. In addition, they organized service initiatives and facilitated workshops at PTK conferences in Arizona and Maryland, extending their impact beyond our campus and showcasing the strength of Rio Salato's student leadership. Next slide, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ellie Ott. I'll be completing Rio's Adult ACE program in 2027. Last year, I was one of 6 fortunate students that got to participate in the ISLE retreat. It was a really important experience for me because I had just started my educational journey and it made me have a strong sense of community with other students. We practiced public speaking, leadership skills, and shared stories together. I met students from many majors and it helped me get a better idea of what degree I wanted to pursue. I hope that you continue to support the ISLE retreat. Next slide, please.
My name is Montserrat Rodriguez, the Vice President of East Valley Rotaract Club and President-elect. I am a high school equivalency student working on my last GED exam at Rio Northern. Tonight, I want to highlight the East Valley Rotaract Club at Rio Salado College, a new student and community-based leadership club officially chartered in July 2025. Rotaract brings together people 18 and older to serve locally and globally, exchanging ideas with community leaders while developing leadership and professional skills through service. Next slide, please. At Rio Salado, the club creates a practical bridge between student life, workforce readiness, and community engagement. Students and community members meet in person and virtually, plan hands-on service, hear from speakers, and step into leadership roles. Next slide, please.
Good evening. My name is Mariah Huff, the incoming foundation chair for the East Valley Rotaract Club and newly enrolled student at Rio Salado College. The purpose of the club is simple: make service a visible, repeatable leadership experience. This matters for Rio Salado because our students often balance school, work, family, and community responsibilities. Rotaract gives them a place to belong, a way to serve, and a network of mentors from the East Valley. Next slide, please. The club's activities already show the model. Rio's public events calendar lists recurring garden cleanups and monthly meetings, including service-focused meetings and professional development topics. We've grown our club by 56% since July, have offered over 45 events, and participated in over 310 community project hours. Next slide, please. In May 2025, the East Valley Rotaract Club received the Arizona America 250 Commission Award for Community Service, the Future Forward Award, and the Rotaractor of the Year Award, presented by the Rotary District 5495. The benefit to the college is clear: stronger belonging, positive visibility for Rio Salado, a practical workforce skill experience, and a community partnership model that can scale across Maricopa. Thank you. Next slide.
Thank you all. You did a great job. Board members, do you have any comments or questions? Yeah, really busy year. And I was glad to see some of our board members in some of those pictures. I saw the picture of Dr. Thorne. I reached out to her when I saw that picture and said, I miss you. Hurry up and get well. So I'm glad that some of our board members were able to enjoy some of these activities with you guys. So thank you very much for your presentation. You did a great job.
I have a question.
Wait.
Can you tell us what it means to be a 5-star chapter of PTK?
Of course. So to be a 5-star chapter, you have to hit all of the requirements, the major ones being that Honors in Action research project and the college project, where we partner with the college to help bring a dream to life.
Great, thank you. And one other thing, you guys are doing some amazing work. It sounds like you're really keeping busy. But are there any other issues or concerns that students have that you think the board would be better off knowing about?
Definitely, great question. I believe the most important issue right now would be to assess and hopefully restructure the travel budget, the way it works funding for students. Right now, with Rio students, we receive 80% of the total stipend given for faculty and staff, which truly we are very grateful for. However, as students and a lot of us as working students, it's still that 20% can definitely cut into our wallets. And with Rio being online, those in-person leadership, the institutes, the conferences, all of those in-person events are really where we get so much of that supplemental learning and engagement. And so more funding to allow more students that opportunity would be incredible.
Thank you.
Dr. Narini, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't PTK one of your favorite things? I think I've heard stories about you in PTK. So thank you very much.
Because they wouldn't let me in when I was a student.
That's right. That's the story I heard.
Let you in now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And now it's time for Mr. Jolly's report. So Mr. Jolly, we're anxious to hear from you.
Governing board members, Chancellor Gonzalez, members of the Shared Governance Executive Council and guests, greetings. At our last meeting, I discussed some of the innovative ways individual faculty are incorporating AI into their instruction. I also talked about the challenges AI poses to critical thinking, academic integrity, and the long-term value of a degree. Today, I'd like to show the other side of this coin. I'm joined by Sarah Beakley-Mersil, Computer Information Systems faculty member and department chair at Scottsdale Community College, Nancy Didakia, Computer Information Systems faculty member at Scottsdale, Meha Trivedi, Computer Information Systems faculty member at Estrella, Prema Rayappa, Computer Science CIS faculty member at CGCC, and Habib Matar, AI and Engineering faculty member at CGCC. These are the faculty who have worked diligently over the last few years to develop AI degree and certificate programs across our district. Please join me in welcoming
them. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening about SCC's Artificial Intelligence Program. I'm Sarah Beakley-Mersil, Department Chair for Computer Information Systems at Scottsdale Community College. I'm excited to briefly share how SCC is preparing students for a workforce where artificial intelligence is becoming part of nearly every profession. Please advance to the next slide. All right. Artificial intelligence is changing the way we work, the way work gets done across virtually every industry. Whether students plan to work in business, healthcare, education, marketing, technology, or the arts, they're increasingly going to encounter AI in the workplace. Because of that, AI fluency is becoming an essential workplace competency. At SCC, we recognize that our responsibility isn't simply to teach students how to use AI tools. It's to prepare them to work confidently and responsibly alongside AI by developing both AI literacy and AI fluency. Across our district, faculty are already finding meaningful ways to incorporate AI into teaching and learning. At the same time, we recognize important concerns surrounding academic integrity, misinformation, bias, and maintaining critical thinking. Rather than avoiding AI or encouraging students to rely on it without question, we believe students need structured opportunities to learn how to evaluate AI and use it effectively and apply sound human judgment every step of the way. That's why SCC developed the Foundations in Applied Artificial Intelligence Certificate. Next slide. This certificate is designed for students in any field, not just technology. Students develop practical AI skills they can immediately apply in the classroom and workplace. They learn how to use AI. They learn how AI works, how to write effective prompts, how to evaluate AI-generated content, recognize hallucinations and bias, and understand when human judgment is essential. The emphasis is not on replacing human thinking. It's on strengthening human thinking. As employers continue adopting AI across industries, these are the kinds of skills that will help our graduates communicate effectively, solve problems, adapt to new technologies, and become AI fluent professionals who can confidently use these tools in ethical and responsible ways. Technology has always changed, and it always will. Our responsibility isn't to prepare students for one specific technology. Our responsibility is to prepare students to think critically, evaluate information, and adapt responsibly. If we can do that, we're preparing them not just for their first job, but for the next 20 years. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Meha Trivedi from Estrella Mountain Community College. I teach computer science and AI. I'm also the program director for our AI program. Next slide, please. So at Estrella, we've been a part of the Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning program since 2020, alongside with Chandler Gilbert. And so we have a certificate of completion program currently. We did have an associate of applied science, which we've decided to sunset, but we still have students completing that program. The certificate focus is really to help activate further and deeper learning for students in specific fields. So I would say that it really supports students who are already pursuing computer science, students who may already be in the field who need to come back and educate themselves in AI development work. And so that's what the certificate is all about. It includes computer vision, natural language processing, a lot of the keywords that you may have heard. During our certificate program, we've had an amazing success with our students. As you can see in the slides, we've done student showcases with AI. So students do projects and then they present them to our community members, faculty, and other students. We've done an integrative session with cybersecurity because we all know AI kind of resides in multiple industries, right? So we integrated with cybersecurity and hosted a conference for that. Again, showcasing students all the possibilities, and we had student presentations there. Currently, we are working on a collaborative project with Mayo Clinic. So we have 2 students working on AI projects with Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic employees are training our students, and as faculty, we serve as mentors to the students. And so we've got that project going as well. So it's been really successful. Our pathway that we currently have also leads into an Associate of Science degree, a General Associate of Science. But students can take core AI classes and then transfer into the Bachelor's in AI degree, which we currently have at Chandler Gilbert, but we hope to have at Estrella as well. Next slide, please. So at Estrella, we're also a part of a national applied artificial intelligence grant. It's a consortium, and so we have quite a bit of industry partnership. We serve on a business, industry, and leadership team across the nation. So there are people and representatives across the nation guiding us toward the AI curriculum. We have partnerships with Intel, right? This is what our partnership was when we started the program. So that's still active and live today. In our grant, we're collaborating with Miami-Dade College as well as Houston College. So we're working across, other colleges in the nation. We're working with them to, again, help build our curriculum, enhance it, increase student engagement and learning. There's also faculty professional development opportunities for all of our faculty across the district. So anybody who's interested can partake for free in professional development training. It's also open to faculty nationwide. Currently, I'm also a mentor to a community college in California, and I'm mentoring them basically to start their own AI program. And so we're engaged in quite a few activities, mostly for students, but of course for development and growth as well. Thank you. Next slide, please.
Thank you so much for that, Meha. Good to see some of the governing board again. I'm Habib Matar. Let me erase this up a little bit. I've been working here for 7 years now. In 2019, we started the idea of the artificial intelligence program. This was before ChatGPT and AI was a household name. And it was pretty unheard of, especially from a community college, creating a AI program specifically on teaching and learning AI. So when we talk about, the achievements, this has been over the past 7 years. We're not just new into this space. We're not just chasing trends. We've been the forefront of this actually across the country. A lot of other colleges across the country look to us, Maricopa, for advice and best practices. So if we can go to the next slide here. So we've changed our associate's degree program to better prepare the students. As you know, the technology sector is changing a lot in terms of who's hiring, especially new grads. And so we wanted to prepare students better for their future. Hence, we have now upgraded to the bachelor's degree program. And as you can see here, it has gotten a lot of highlights. Every news channel I can think of is highlighted, not only the National AI Consortium that Meha was speaking to, but also our bachelor's degree program. And interestingly, we won the Governor's Innovation Award in 2022 for these efforts. We are innovating. Innovation is not easy. It's been a lot of learning. It's been a lot of hard work. And really all I'm here to say is I hope you continue to support this program. With our spring enrollment in 2026, we have 137 students who are enrolled into the bachelor's degree program. And it's amazing to see all the classes are being filled. And as an instructor, it's a wonderful thing to be a part of. It's amazing to see that these students are learning cutting edge skills in technology, not just, chasing trends, but things that they're going to be using for the rest of their careers. Like all of us here, we lean on our bachelor's degree throughout the rest of our career. And we're trying to set that place for our students as well. If we can go to the next slide. So we're not only targeting, a software engineer with AI skills, we're also targeting how can AI be used as a tool within business at Chandler Gilbert. So you can't just, have engineers building models, but who are going to be using those models and how to use those tools. So we also have started targeting AI for business micro-credentials, specifically things like prompt engineering, the responsible AI ethics, which was spoken to previously, and business intelligence. So Chandler Gilbert, we're really trying to meet the needs of AI and technology. Thank you so much.
I don't have anything to add to all of that. I just want to say that the greatest honor of the work that I do is supporting the faculty who are standing behind me, doing incredibly smart, innovative, amazing things every day. So does the board have any questions for our presenters?
Ms. Smith? Well, Jacqueline Smith.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation and for your hard work, and thank you for keeping Maricopa at the cutting edge. My first question is, have any of these programs been funded by any philanthropic grants? And if so, can you tell us a little bit about them?
So apologies on my own misunderstanding of the word philanthropic.
Yeah.
But originally, with the certificate and the associate's degree in AI, we had a lot of not only support, like, hey, industry wants this kind of degree from Intel and Dell.
Mhm.
We also had funding in terms of our AI labs, both at Estrella Mountain and Chandler Gilbert Community College. So not only is business kind of putting money forward, saying, hey, we want these kinds of students with these kinds of skills, but also giving us support in terms of anytime we went to any kind of governing board meeting, you would also see Intel there supporting us. So yeah.
Great, thank you. And then just one follow-up question. Can a member of the public take a single course in some of these subject areas, or do you prefer that they take at least the certificate? Or could you talk a little bit about how the public is being invited to upskill, and how are they finding it out? Is it that their employer is recommending that they potentially take a course, or are we advertising in any other way for the average member of the public to upskill in this area?
Sorry, I'm so short. Yes, from Scottsdale Community College's perspective, I have been speaking at Scottsdale Chamber of Commerce events. I was actually at an interface conference last week, talking about cybersecurity and the importance of leveraging AI. So word of mouth and honestly, just some of my own public speaking events has kind of gained some traction. I'm happy to say that we've filled our fall classes. So yay.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I've actually been working on it. I have some connections from industry. So people are looking to take these courses, but it hasn't been, I'm going to say, officially advertised.
Mhm.
And to follow up to answer your question, the answer is yes. So the CCL that SCC has is 1 semester, 3 classes, 5 weeks each, one right after the other. So you only have to take the very first course, 5 weeks, and immediately you can apply those skills to any sector of the industry. So the answer to your question is yes, 1 class.
Oh, great. I do have one last quick follow-up. Are all of the classes offered in person for all of these AI, or are some of them fully online?
The one we're launching at SCC, which launches in fall officially, is online only, 5 weeks, 1 semester. That's how we're marketing it.
To add to that, that's been the demand, is that there's a lot of working professionals that are looking to upskill and they don't have the time to come on campus.
But at SCC in the CIS department, we do have a tutoring lab and we offer in-person and online tutoring 5 days a week. So it is available for students if they need it.
Ms. Bittersmith.
So yeah, you'll hear every college has a different perspective. So at Chandler Gilbert, our bachelor's degree program doesn't really have that. You can just take any one class because there's prerequisites that lead up to what you're going to be taking in the future semesters. But in terms of the modality, we provide something we call it HighFlex. So we have a camera in the room. I teach the classes. Whichever students can attend in person can, but if they need to attend live online, they can as well. But one thing we make sure that is specific, I want to say this here, we make the exams in person. So
thank you. Those are my questions.
I'd like to add something for Estrella. So we do only online right now. We did try an in-person daytime class and it just didn't work as well as the online modality. But we're also excited that we're actually having another faculty join us. And so what we're hoping to do is start offering evening classes because I think that opens up more opportunities for people out who are in the workforce.
Thank you.
Ms. Bittersmith.
Secretary Davis, I just wanted to add that you heard lots of examples of how there's community outreach. Simply because of what I do for a living, I've had the opportunity to see that in person. Poor Habib got stuck with me. You've heard this story before, a number of years ago, talking to cable operators about AI. But throughout the chambers, throughout Maricopa County, Scottsdale is taking a lead in doing some of the interaction, but there are other groups that are now using all these resources you're seeing in front of you as speakers and opportunities to educate the public. So I just want to commend you for doing that, Matt. Thank you for having all of this team here tonight. I don't think you're done though, because I think we need you to continue to press that this is what we do and this is why we're important. And don't forget exactly what we're doing to educate not just students coming in a classroom, but adult learners too. So.
And Ms. Sullivan.
Thank you very much for your presentation this evening. I was making notes, and I remember visiting Chandler Gilbert in 2019 and seeing you in the classroom and the enthusiasm you were bringing to the topic that was going over my head, but it certainly looked impressive at the time, and here we are. I want to follow up on a couple things that Ms. Smith said. I appreciate how much this is integrated workforce development and the importance of integrating AI knowledge and practice and competencies in industry sectors. But I want to go back to the idea of an adult learner, especially an aging adult learner, if I can be so crass, since I fall in that category now. And that is just like someone might want to take a class in Italian or something else so that they can become proficient because they're going to travel. What I'm experiencing in this environment is there's limited opportunity for someone just to learn AI for the sake of understanding and knowing AI. So to your point, tied to Ms. Smith's question, I was curious, similarly, can you offer one time? I don't want to learn online because I can barely use my computer, right? But so I'm just introducing that as a concept where I think the community colleges particularly can step into the space to really think about the whole spectrum of learning and who is learning and for what reason are we learning? I mean, if the facts are that we will not be able to move forward without understanding, appreciating, and being able to talk and use AI, we'll leave generations of people who can still be contributors to the landscape behind. So I would like to encourage you and whomever else, as I probably should look at the provost, who now just looked up, just kidding, that we think along that terms, even if it's almost not for credit. I mean, I realize that's ridiculous. The other, but anyway, I want to put that out there. And the other piece is I wanted to know, what is your relationship in AI? It's okay. What is your relationship in AI to ASU? When I'm out traveling nationally, when someone calls to mind who are the leaders in AI, I haven't heard yet our name come up, which is very disconcerting for me. And so then I'll say, well, and offer a comment. But I do hear about ASU. So how can we, number one, put ourselves in the landscape in a more deliberate manner? And secondly, do we have a relationship with ASU in any of this regard?
I can comment. Habibi, please comment as well. For speaking for SCC, well, first of all, Ms. Sullivan, I would like to say that SCC has offered non-credit classes for adult learners.
Okay.
And we have done that, and we're working on doing that again. So in Scottsdale, we actually have a targeted population of, I like to call you mature adults. I'm also a mature adult, just putting that out there. So that first point. So yes,
wonderful.
Absolutely, totally agree with you. We want to teach skills to people for just learning without credit, no stress, that kind of thing. Absolutely. In terms of ASU, well, I guess I would say, for just listening to you and thinking about it, well, immediately in my brain, I'm like, well, we'll be on the map. Give me a year. The program starts officially in fall. And all 10 colleges can share, all the other 9 colleges can share it. We want to work with the 10 colleges. So my hope is that you'll find this small CCL in one semester across the valley, and it applies to every industry. So, and I have started speaking to other colleges. So we are getting interest, but we got to market it and bring them in. Our classes are full. They're closed right now for the fall. So that's a good problem. So no direct relationship to ASU. Do you agree with that? Yeah, I wouldn't yet. Let's say
well,
yet.
I'm just was curious. I just want to be able to go and say, wait a minute, there's a community college institution in the landscape, and instead of just calling out the university sectors, it's important for people to recognize that community colleges are as competitive and as ahead as others. So whatever talking points you need to give me, please do. because I think that's critically important, particularly as we're talking more and more about community college as a leading edge in higher education. So thank you. And thanks for your answers.
Yeah, there's a couple different perspectives on incorporating AI into education, right? You could have some kind of AI literacy within FYE 101. That may be a possibility. Or just embedding it in all the courses we teach, right? English, humanities, things like that, having at least a piece of it, of course, not the whole. And then I do agree there's a space for just, adult learners, non-credit AI literacy. And I think the bachelor's degree is not looking in that space because, again, it's specific to growing someone with a 4-year degree in a career specifically in AI, right?
Wonderful. Yes.
And so, and then in terms of what you mentioned about our collaboration with ASU, I mean, yeah, the Governor's Innovation Award for 2022, they didn't even say that there was a community college in the room until they awarded us the award. So we are recognized, especially in the community college space. I mean, we're one of the pioneers, one of the leaders. The National AI Consortium, which is the grant was talked about previously, is bringing over, I think we have at least a college in every state, a community college that is being led by Miami-Dade Community College, Houston Community College, and Maricopa Community Colleges. And so in terms of our collaborations with ASU, it's been hard. I try and email them and ask them, hey, like, what kind of collaboration can there be there? We have a stronger collaboration in the bachelor's degree with GCU right now, a little bit with U of A, but you have to keep in mind the legitimacy of a degree. You don't want your 4-year degree articulating into a 2-year master's degree that has nothing to do with the past 4 years. And then you don't want a university dictating exactly what the 4-year degree that we've started and built from the ground up here at Chandler Gilbert. We don't want that kind of tape all over it either. So in the heart of collaboration, of course, but those conversations, I haven't seen them happen just yet. But we're going to continue anyway.
Well, I want to celebrate who you are and all the work that you're doing. Do not take my comments as criticism at all. I have heard about it Miami-Dade again when I'm out. I just would like to start hearing more Maricopa community colleges. I just think that in the space, when there's conversations about universities and community colleges together, obviously the intention usually goes to the university conversation. I'd like to see it acknowledge and talk about the community college space more. So we'll have to talk about how we can do that, and I can maybe have talking points.
Yeah, I'm happy to present the bachelor's degree program at any conference, and then our students are graduating in 2 years. So hopefully, we have a nest egg right now. Hopefully it grows.
Oh, it'll be awesome. Thank you very much.
Ms. Bittersmith.
I don't want to belabor this, but I do, Maria, I want to back up what you just heard from these folks. And maybe it's because, again, what I do partially for a living, I am hearing about Maricopa, not as much as ASU, admittedly. But I just want you to know, in Denver last week, as I was touring cable technology labs and the Denver tech thing, Maricopa came up twice. They had no clue that I even knew what a Maricopa was. So it was not done for my benefit. So I want to assure you that there are some people, are at least certainly in the West Coast, and I know Habib knows you've talked on you've been a lot of places to speak to groups. So Marie, we're not quite where we need to be yet, because that's a marketing issue for us. But I do want to tell you that I was delighted, and I probably should have emailed you to tell you that. So now you're hearing it, that standing in the middle of the Comcast Tech Lab, Maricopa came up, and again, totally unsolicited. So congratulations to all of you for that.
Any other comments or questions from board members? Well, I admitted to Mr. Jolly that I was going to take an AI class from a friend of mine who owns a restaurant, but she's a national trainer for AI. And so I drugged my husband along with me, and we learned the basics about AI. And she was telling us how she uses it in her restaurant business, and gave us hints on prompting. And I didn't know what a hallucination was. I mean, I was glad to hear that term tonight because I had never heard of that before I took her little class. Anyway, it was eye-opening. And I agree with what Ms. Sullivan has been saying here. We need those kinds of, because I've had so many AI presentations for my job too, from industry who talked about how they were using it, and ASU has come and talked to groups that I've been a part of. But I needed to know how am I supposed to do this? And so I think it is really, really important to be able to have those offered through our community colleges. So thank you all. You did a great job. And Mr. Jolly, thank you for bringing them forward for us. And now Ms. Boge.
Good evening, Ms. Davis, members of the governing board, Chancellor Gonzalez, and our guests, and also the Shared Governance Executive Council. My report will be very brief tonight, so we won't be. I won't be up here very long. We didn't have a meeting in June. Our reps have the month off, so that cuts down on a little of the things that I would be sharing with you normally. We will be meeting in July, and our plans are to review our new election schedules and establish a more predictable election cycle. We're also discussing plans for outreach to new adjunct faculty members that we'll be implementing at the beginning of the fall semester. I'm also continuing to work with my district committees that I sit on and task forces, and I'm happy that to say that I was serving recently on the task force for the adjunct faculty professional growth and tuition waiver recommendations. It sounds like a mouthful. It was actually really interesting, and it impacts the work that I do on my adjunct faculty professional growth committee. And so we were able to, by discussing how we can work and align the eligibility for both instructional and service adjunct faculty, and provide consistent standards and application of benefits when people are applying for them. So it's something that doesn't sound like a very exciting committee, but in terms of the work I'm doing and also what we're trying to encourage our adjuncts to partake in, it's very helpful to know how we can apply it equally. Part of it being service adjunct faculty work on an hourly basis, and instructional faculty work on a load-based basis. And so when we don't have alignment with how they're eligible for certain opportunities, we come up with questions. So this was very successful. We had a wonderful meeting with the Shared Governance Operations Council last week, and were approved with our to move forward with what we had suggested. So that's all the work that I can discuss right now. And I hope that everybody has a peaceful summer break for the next month, and we'll see you in August. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Rich and Mr. Moak.
Good evening, Ms. Davis, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, members of SGC, colleagues and guests. It's my pleasure to present the end of the year accomplishments for staff representation. Next slide, please. At the 5-year mark, we redesigned and streamlined the staff representation model. As noted on the slide, Jason has been working hard to ensure that this was completed prior to his departure from his position. Through updated commitments and bylaws, Jason has created a field guide to help everyone better understand the role of staff representation. We have been updating the website and resources available to staff as we encountered common questions and recurring themes. This will be handed off to our continuity committee for ongoing improvement and to ensure that these remain living documents that are regularly reviewed and updated. Staff representation members were given the opportunity to serve on many executive search committees this year, which enriched the experience of those who participated. I will continue providing opportunities to staff representatives that will enhance their experience with Maricopa and help shape the culture. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the significant amount of committee work that all our representatives have contributed to the betterment of this district. Next slide, please. Staff representation held a 2-day training event on June 10th and 11th, and I'm happy to report that it was well attended and well received by staff. Next slide. The first day of training was hosted at the district office, and aside from a few internet and technical issues, it was very successful for those who attended in person.
Brand new district.
Yes, the brand new district office.
Oh.
We were over there. Thank you for the clarification. The second day, day 2, pictured above, was hosted by Dr. Jana Schwartz and PVCC. Thank you, Dr. Schwartz, for your hospitality. Next slide, please. Last but not least, I would like to thank each and every board member, as well as every member of the Shared Governance Executive Council for their support. Although we have faced some adversity this year, general sentiment among staff is that things are improving. They recognize the efforts of this exceptional group of individuals. Again, thank you for all you do. Next slide, please, Elza. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Jason to give his final governing board address. Take it away, Jason.
Well, I've come to the end of my 2-year term. At this time, come July 1st, I'll be returning to Rio Salado College, where I will continue work in the academic programming team, building and supporting content for our students. And I'd like to thank everybody for the opportunity that this provided to represent our staff and work towards making a better district for all. I will be around for another year in an advisory capacity. Next slide. Where I will be replacing April Rowland as the past president advisor. And so at this time, we'd also like to thank April for her years of service and staff representation, where she's been serving as our advisor for the last year. Next slide, please. And as you'll see up with us, we have our new co-president that will be taking my seat as of July 1st, Brenna Stein. We'd like to thank her and congratulate her for her service. Next slide, please. We will be returning in the fall with more jobs spotlights. So we are working with different groups to try and get those prepared. So just so you know, we'll be back in August with more of those. At this time, speaking of my college, I'm going to invite our senator up to give the report for Rio Salado. Next slide, please.
Thank you. I think I might have to take that artificial intelligence because sometimes my intelligence is artificial. Anyway, I'd like to introduce you to the incoming staff representatives, Jenna Van Dorn, Amber Johnson, Adam Wetterhand, who will be taking over as senator next year, or this coming year, actually July 1st. I'm going to return in a role as staff representation, and then Jason Howard. Amber and Jenna Van Dorn are non-exempt members, and Adam, myself, and Jason are exempt. And so that's our new incoming staff. I am ending my 2-year term as senator, and so I'm leaving it in good hands. So next slide, please. We were really busy this year. We have some college bright spots. We, all the things that Rio is so well known for, the forward thinking that we do, and the change management and all the things that we're really excited about. But a couple of things I really want to highlight are the coffee chats. We had started them at the location, or at, headquarters here. And we decided to take it on the road. So we went and visited all of the other locations across the valley. And we took the coffee to the staff in Avondale and Surprise and all over the valley. So that was a really nice way to connect with the fellow staff that way. I'm going to skip the Northern Clothing Closet for now. And as Jason said, as Tony said, we serve on many boards, district and Rio boards. So EBAC and the Shared Governance Task Force, we serve on those boards those committees. And so we do a lot. And then I'll, like I said, close on the Nook Closet. Next slide, please. So the coffee culture, we reached 145 employees when we traveled the Valley, which was a very nice thing to do. But you know, when you say, hey, we're bringing coffee, you know, people show up. So that was really nice. But the fact that, you know, they really shared their hearts with us, and they shared you know, some of the concerns that they have, and we've absolutely documented those concerns, and we the people that we're able to assist, it's a really humbling experience to be able to assist the staff. And next slide. So as I said before, we've got the communications committee, the policy committee, we've got someone signing up for continuity, we've got the EBAC committee that actually I serve on, and I think Brenna serves on. So next slide, I'm trying to really go fast here. And the Shared Governance Manual Task Force, that's really been an interesting committee to be serving on, because it kind of steps us outside of what we do when we talk about shared governance, and really becoming more aware of how it is and what it is, and being able to serve on those committees and from the ground up, and be able to look at the documents and look at how our college is put together is really very edifying for me, and it's very edifying for Adam, who also serves on that committee. Next slide. Okay, so let me talk just a minute about the college and community. So I'm a little bit biased about this program, and I will tell you the reason it came about. So I had a student, I teach at the Northern location, I teach adult education, the HSC classes. I had a student who came in, and he had, he's, I don't know, 6'10", super big guy, had these shoes that were split. And I said, hey, Robert, let me get you a pair of shoes. Oh, I shouldn't have said his name. I'm sorry. But hey, let me get you a pair of shoes. And he said, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I said, let me get you a pair of shoes. What size do you wear? And he's 13. I'm like, okay, let me figure this out. And it clicked in my head that we really have to do something for these students who don't have the opportunity to oftentimes get new clothing and new shoes and things like that. So I talked to the fellow staff reps, and I said, what do you guys think if we launch this clothing closet? So we did, and super excited about it. It's really doing well. The students love it. We've made it a very nice place to visit, so they're not embarrassed about coming in. We have lovely gift bags for when they take the things that they take, and it's just a very nice thing we're doing. We've provided over 200 pieces of gently used clothing, and this is since May.
Wow.
So, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And more than 50 students, so that we've served. And, you know, part of what we do in community college, because we serve in-person students at the locations. And part of what we do is we try to remove the barriers that they have to becoming high school graduates and to learning English. And one of those barriers is, you know, they often live in refugee camps, or they live in shelters, and having access to clothing and to shoes and to bags. And we're kind of secretly trying to launch a little like breakfast cart thing too, where we can feed our students. And so those are the things that we're most excited about. So I wanted to kind of give a little bit more time to that. Next slide. And is that it? I think
that's it.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's our report. We've been busy, and we look forward to being even busier next year. Any questions?
Board members, any questions or comments? Okay, great job.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, I'd just like to say thank you and congratulations to Jason's leadership these
Yes.
many years. And I know you're still part of the plan and you're evolving, but thank you for the leadership you've given the staff and your presentations. And Brianna, we look forward to working with you too.
Yes, we'll still see you, right, Jason? Okay. All right, thank you. Tonight we have one recognition, Miss Pamela Smith, Student Advisory Representative. So you want to come up here? So we have a plaque here for you. The Maricopa Community College Governing Board extends to Ms. Pamela Smith our heartfelt thanks and appreciation for an outstanding year of service as our student advisory board member from 2025 to 2026. Thank you, Pamela. We're going to miss you. We're going to miss you. I'm so glad you continue. She's still got a job. I know she's still helping us, so that's a good thing. Emma. Okay.
Donna,
Yes.
I think the group should know that Pam is leaving this job. She has still another job because she's still going to be on the onboarding transition committee through the next year for the new chancellor.
For the new chancellor.
for
So
doing that.
thank you for doing that, Ms. Smith. That's very important work. So we're glad to have you on that committee. So thank you. Yeah. And now, last but not least, we have the final report from Dr. Gonzalez, who's been looking forward to this. He kept telling us 2 more board meetings, 1 more board meeting. So this is it, Dr. Gonzalez.
Interim board chair
Oh,
Davis, members of the board, our SGC guests that are with us tonight. This is my final report. And I didn't know if I was going to make it today because I started getting a sore throat at lunch. But I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm good. As usual, I'm going to give the update that's related to Rio Salado and then give you an update on where we are with enrollment, legislative update, and then just a few parting comments. Can't leave here without saying something, right? All right. So in fiscal year 24-25, Rio served 44,149 unique students, nearly 6% more than the previous year, and is on track to exceed that total gain this year. Rio's also served a record 9,900 dual enrollment students across 46 school partners, with 405 on track to earn an associate's degree and more than 200 participating in commencement on May 14th. Since May 2025, Rio has awarded 5,416 credentials, including 49 bachelor's degrees. Commencement awards increased 8% over last year. That's awesome. Here are some highlights. And by the way, there isn't a week that doesn't go by that I don't get an email from the president of Rio saying, we've got another award. And so this is just a snippet because they are constantly receiving recognition for their good work. Rio was selected as Walgreens' national educational partner for Farm Start program, providing customized training for pharmacy technician career advancement, and more than 300 Walgreens employees are already enrolled across the country. One of only 5 community colleges nationwide, Rio Salado has been selected for the Reimagining Community College Design Challenge, which is a multi-year initiative focused on skills-based learning, stackable credentials, flexible pathways, and stronger workforce alignment. The college is also one of only 3 institutions awarded a $100,000 grant from Axum Collaborative and Western Governors University to build a foundation for dynamic, career-connected assessments in the age of AI. The Rio Salado Cafe now serves as the food provider for Tempe Meals on Wheels, preparing 40 to 50 fresh meals each weekday for homebound and vulnerable community members. This partnership expands community service while supporting the cafe's long-term sustainability. And if you didn't know this already, Rio Salado Cafe has the best chicken salad around. So stop by and give that a try. So congratulations to President Kate Smith and her team over at Rio for the good work that they're doing. As far as system enrollment updates, at 10 weeks prior to the start of the fall 2026, enrollment shows a slight 3.3% decline. However, headcount remains up 13% compared to the fall 2024. And there are still several weeks remaining before the start of the semester, and system-wide and college-specific enrollment strategies are currently underway across the district to increase enrollment and support a strong start to the fall term. As far as legislative updates concerned, This year's session concluded on June 13th, and the budget did not include any funding for Maricopa Community College's operating aid, to our disappointment, despite significant lobbying efforts and a great deal of interest and enthusiasm from a number of legislators. In fact, there was a press release that went out today that told a really good story as to why we really believe we should receive operating aid from our state. The budget did, however, include our full allocation of STEM funding and scholarship funds for Maricopa students through the Arizona Teachers Academy and Community College Promise program. So for that, we're extremely grateful. And our government relations team is already working on keeping up momentum for our operating aid restoration in the next session. That was really something I was hoping to get done while I was serving as the chancellor, but it's going to happen, folks. It will happen. So here are some final thoughts that I'd like to share with everybody. It has certainly been an honor to serve as the chancellor of the Maricopa Colleges. Together, we have faced challenges, embraced opportunities, and remained committed to one purpose. That's expanding access to education and transforming lives through learning. Our accomplishments are the results of dedication of our governing board, faculty, staff, students, and our community partners. I leave with deep gratitude for your trust, your collaboration, and your unwavering belief in the mission of our colleges. While leadership changes, the values that define Maricopa's service, innovation, inclusion, and student success will continue to guide this remarkable institution. I have every confidence that the best days for Maricopa are still ahead. I am in the process of buying and selling a home. We now have a new home, and I have a lot to learn about the house and our surroundings. For our old home, we are under contract, and I want to be there for the new homeowners to show them everything they need to know about it, because I've lived there for 13 years, but I can't. It would be weird. Well, that's how I feel about the transition with work. I now have a new home with K-State with lots to learn. Yet Maricopa has been my home for 13 years. And I want to make sure the new guy knows everything he needs to know about it, but I can't. It would be weird. In this case, however, he has all of you to help him learn about Maricopa. And I sleep better at night knowing that, and I'm very excited for what's in store for Maricopa. I want to thank you for the privilege of serving alongside you. It has been one of the greatest honors of my career. And I will always be proud to have been part of the Maricopa family. But before I go, and at the recommendation of Dr. Britt, I have some chancellor pardons and a final dad joke to give. So I'd like to pardon CJ for wearing teal every Tuesday. I'd like to pardon Kate for bringing too much energy to early morning meetings. I'd like to pardon Britt for her cruel and unusual practical jokes. I'd like to pardon Dr. Narini for his never-ending questions on student fees. Again, I'd like to pardon Britt on behalf of Dr. Narini for suggesting that I pardon Dr. Narini. And my final dad joke for you is this. Why did I tell Dr. Bloomberg to bring a ladder to work on his first day?
Why did you?
Well, you're supposed to say why.
Why?
Why? Well, since you asked, so that he can take Maricopa to the next level.
Oh.
Thank you all. It's been a pleasure. Now, like you excuse students who have homework late at night, can I be? Just kidding. Thank you.
Well, just so everybody knows, we didn't give Dr. Gonzalez a plaque for his I Love Me wall, which when I told him about I Love Me walls, I don't think he knew. In the military, everybody has an I Love Me wall with all their plaques on it. So, but so we didn't give him a plaque for his I Love Me wall, but we took him out to dinner. So, yes, go ahead.
We gave him a
We-
plaque at the meeting. Linda handed it to the party that Linda gave him.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay, that's right. He did get a plaque. You got a plaque. Okay. We gave him a bottle of wine. So I I wanted you to know that we did not forget him. And we will never forget you, Dr. Gonzalez. So thank you for all you've done for us. Okay, so now it's time for citizens interim. Ms. Macias, do we have any comments? Okay, public comments? Okay, great. Thank you. We will now move to the consent agenda. Consideration of the consent agenda items. Our adopted rules of parliamentary procedure provide for a consent agenda listing several items for approval of the board by a single motion. There will be no specific discussion of the items located therein. Items listed under the consent agenda have gone through a review and recommendation process. Documentation concerning these items has been provided to all board members and the public in advance to assure an extensive and thorough review. Any item may be removed from the agenda by the chancellor as a matter of administrative prerogative or by the governing board upon request by a governing board member. No motion, second, or approval is necessary. Items removed from the consent agenda may be voted on and approved during the consideration of the non-consent agenda. Items removed from the consent agenda may be sent to executive session for discussion by motion, second, and approval. The item will be removed from the agenda altogether. The matter will be set for e-session and the proper legal notice will be made. Do any of the board members or the chancellor wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? Okay, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right. Board members, please remember to see Ms. Macias so you can sign the adopted version of the budgets for our charter schools tonight before you leave. Now we're moving to the non-consent action items. Are there any questions, board members, about the second read of Governing Board Policy 12.1.2, the weapons and explosives and fireworks? Any comments or questions on that policy? Is there a motion to adopt Governing Board Policy 12.1.2, weapons, explosives, and fireworks as presented?
Ms. Davis, so moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Narini. Any discussion from board members? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, by a vote of six ayes, by a unanimous vote, and the student advisory vote, we've adopted Governing Board Policy 12.1.2, weapons, explosives, and fireworks as presented. The next item for discussion is the Arizona Mutual Aid Compact between Maricopa County Community College's Police Department and the Arizona Department of Emergency and Military Affairs for public safety, emergency preparedness, and regional collaboration. As requested at the June 9th, 2026 agenda review meeting, this item was moved from the consent agenda to the non-consent agenda for further discussion. Ms. Bone, would you please introduce our presenters?
Good evening. Thank you, Secretary Davis, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez for the last time, colleagues and guests. We are pleased to talk a little bit more about this MOU between the district and AZ MAC. We did share a presentation last Wednesday, so I think Elza is pulling that up. The presentation is rich in content. There's a lot of words in the presentation. We wanted it to serve as a resource guide as well. Understanding that there are specific questions that were asked that we tried to address in there. There could be follow-up questions. What I'd like to do is turn it over to Tim Joint, who's our not in uniform, our Director of Emergency Management and Safety, for some brief comments, and then over to Chief Barfus. I've asked them to keep their comments at a high level, going through not every word of the presentation, but hitting the high points to make sure we have time for any questions that may arise. Tim.
Thank you, Leanne. Good evening, everybody. As Leanne said, my name is Tim Joint. I'm the Director of Emergency Management and Safety for the district office. This request for being a signatory of AZMAC was brought up from myself through the Public Safety Department. In emergency management, mutual aid is a cornerstone of preparedness. It's what allows us to bolster our resources when we have days that require additional support. This agreement is really just a pre-established framework for us to request and be able to provide assistance to community partners across the state. Another way to think about that is this compact is kind of like a highway system, right? All the compact does is it's the road that we can use to gain support and provide support. It doesn't require us to use the road. It doesn't provide the vehicles or the fuel. It is literally a road that allows us to work through the process and get the ball rolling in emergency, which is not the time for us to then have to try and make those decisions. So it really just gets that ball rolling for us to get support coming our direction or provide support to our community members. With that being said, in any emergency, the district still relies on our own resources and capabilities. We only ask for additional support when it's needed. And that assistance is determined by us. So there's nothing in this agreement that requires us to provide support. There's no standards that are set within that. It is merely that road and that pathway to get us the support that we may need. So signing this compact is really the district taking a step towards being more prepared for our students or faculty and staff to support them in times of need. And I think with that, I'll turn it over to Chief Barfus to answer any of the questions that were previously brought up by the board in the last presentation.
Secretary Davis, members of the governing board, and Chancellor Gonzalez. My name is Blair Barfus. I'm your Chief of Police. If you could go to the next slide, Elsa. As Tim mentioned previously, there is zero expectations of Maricopa colleges when it comes to entering into this agreement, when it comes to financial impact. It accomplishes a number of things. MOUs and IGAs, or intergovernmental agreements, memorandums of understanding, are commonplace in public safety and emergency management. It's one of the things that is essential to us providing safety and security district-wide in collaboration and partnership with all of our valley-wide support services. In preparation for this presentation to you, I did reach out to every chief in higher ed in the state, including the state universities and community colleges. And every community college in the state, as well as higher ed institution, participates in MOUs and IGAs specifically for public safety as well as clery compliance. So that is something that we want to jump on board with and bring additional resources in case we ever need them. Next slide. One of the things that emergency manager Tim mentioned is the expectations, and it's clearly defined that there are no expectations of the district. There's a lot of information here. I do not want to read it verbatim to you. However, I want to get into the specific questions that were asked of us at our first read. So next slide, please. One more, please. So the question was, who brought this forward and why aren't other community colleges listed? It was brought forth by our emergency director, our emergency management director, Tim, to me. We looked at the agreements, and one of the questions was, why are there community colleges aren't listed? Pima Community College specifically chose not to participate in this agreement simply because Tucson has their own MOU and their IGA specifically for their county with all their resources and entities down there. So they did not see any reason to join. We are different. We are unique, separate from Pima in that we have 10 different cities that our colleges reside in and we have to partner with. So hopefully that provides a little context as to why other community colleges, specifically Pima, aren't listed. Next slide, please. One of the questions was about access to our district data. And the short answer to this is no. There's many statements here and reasons as to why this agreement does not provide data to the National Guard or to the military. And that's a very important question, and we're glad that you asked it, but we are very, very clear that this is not something that is jeopardized or utilized by anybody outside of this agreement. Next slide, please. The question is this a mandate to act on our behalf if we join this MOU? And the answer is no. We are not mandated to participate. It's simply in collaboration with all the partners. We have utilized our partner agencies throughout this valley, absent an MOU, out of good faith. Our effort is to join in through the formal process, which is IGAs and MOUs, to show that we want to assist if possible and if requested, but nothing more is required of us to act. Next slide, please. Are police officers in the district and resources committed to DEMA or emergency responses? Once again, the short answer is no. We are never committed to anything, quite frankly. It comes down to what we are able to provide if we want to provide that service. And it's a decision that's made at a district level. It's not made by outside agencies. Next slide, please. And what is the requirement to exit this contract or this MOU if deemed necessary? It's rather simple. It's a 20-day prior notice given. The governing board would make that notice through writing, or we can let, should you decide to join this MOU, we can let it expire in 2033. We appreciate your interest in your questions. We want to be very transparent in everything that we bring to you. We want to be very detailed and organized in a manner that shows that we have answered all your questions thoroughly and to your satisfaction. So now we ask if you have any further questions of us at this time.
Any questions? Dr. Narini?
Sure. Hey, my question revolves around the definition of emergency. And how do we define emergency, and how does that come into play? Because I know that nationally there's been a national emergency at the border. That's been declared by the president. Is that something we would have to get involved in? I want to make sure that we are not getting involved with those kind of things that are more political than actual safety and emergency issues.
Right. Thank you for the question, Dr. Narini. The answer is very simple. We, the district, decide what we get involved in. So defining an emergency is something that we would decide if that's something that we believe is an emergency and we would support and assist with. There's no obligation that we jump in or assist based off of our request.
Thank you.
Other questions or concerns from board members?
Can I add one more thing? to
Yes.
that? So one thing I just want to add is because this compact is managed through DEMA, right? It's important to think of them as the administrators of this. So it's not us directly supporting the state in any way, shape, or form. They're the administrators. And so if the city of Avondale, being a signatory of this, needs support, we can work directly with them. What this allows us to do is if we need support, we can just send that request to DEMA and they're going to push that request to all the signatories. So if we need specific resources, it opens up a very quick avenue for others to be able to provide that stuff for us. So think of them as the administrators. They are a piece, right? So they are a resource just like any other city would be, and can provide support if that's something that we wanted to accept. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Is there a motion to accept the thank you for the presentation. Great job. Thank you. Is there a motion to accept the Arizona Mutual Aid Compact between Maricopa County Community College's Police Department and the Arizona Department of Emergency and Military Affairs?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Any discussion, board members? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, by a unanimous vote, the student advisory vote, the motion carries. Thank you all. Okay, now we're on to first read and information items. All the board members received the employment and separations from April 18th through May 15th. Board members, are there any questions? On to the monitoring reports. The budget analysis report, Fund 1, the general unrestricted fund for the 11 months ending 5/31/2026, was in our packet. Anybody have any questions? Okay, now we're on to community linkage reports. I'm going to go totally out of order. Dr. Narini.
Well, good. Thank you. Got me off guard there. There's going to be a lot of repeats here. Well, there's not a lot because I don't have a lot. But on June 4th, I went to the Root to Relief celebration, and my plant is doing fine. Just want to know. On June 4th, I attended the Arizona Career Pathway graduation with Ms. Davis and Ms. Sullivan. And on June 17th, attended the wonderful, delightful Rio Salado High School equivalency graduation. And then on the 18th, I was at the ribbon cutting for the new Glendale City Council or City Hall. And that was hot.
Was it?
Yes. Outside it was just hot.
Oh, it was outside.
You got to go outside and cut the ribbon and things.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yes. And that concludes my report.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Narini. Ms. Bittersmith.
Thank you, Secretary Davis. I don't want to usurp Ms. Sullivan's report, but she and I had the great honor of making a presentation to the staff representation group, which was quite frankly very fun. And they were very patient with some of my ranting about the legislative decision the day before. So I'm going to tell you thank you again for allowing me to do that. And you'll still be hearing it as we get moving forward to the next session. Then I also participated along with Dr. Thor and others in the room on the first meeting of the Chancellor's Transition Onboarding Committee yesterday. And we have a year-long process, which I think will be very helpful for all of us. And I appreciated the input of many, again, that are sitting in the room. So, oh, I have one other final thing. Dr. Gonzalez, thank you. He's not paying any attention.
He just looked at you.
Okay, good. He used to pay attention, but not anymore. But
he's a short timer.
Thank you for your service to us and for your particularly your help in my years as board president. And quite frankly, Ms. Smith and I had the challenge of coming to the board during COVID. So Dr. Gonzalez had to interface with us, never having met either of us in person. And that was complicated, I know, but thank you very much. I know you're not going to be a stranger, but we appreciate your service to us.
I'm just going to add, I'm probably the only board member who does appreciate your dad jokes. So.
Let's start down there, Miss Smith. Pamela Smith, Miss Pamela Smith.
Well, I don't have anything to report, but I do have a birthday coming up this week on Friday. I know another journey around the sun. But I wanted to just thank everyone, especially our board members, for the opportunity to be able to be in this capacity, especially for students. I think overall, students need to understand how the board works and how their voices are impactful. So I just wanted to thank everyone for listening to my questions, asking me questions, allowing me to kind of tag along with at our different events that we went to. And also to be able to learn and grow in this particular situation. So I appreciate the opportunity. Again, thank you to all of our presidents for allowing me to visit as many as I could. And again, thank you to our board. That is the end of my final report.
Thank you. And Miss Jacqueline Smith.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez, for your service to the district and for all that you've done and for the kindness that you've shown and for your really personal care and attention that you've given to the board members and that I've experienced. Really appreciate you. I don't have a formal report, but I wanted to say that I know I ask a lot of questions about philanthropy and philanthropic funding, so it's important to reference that In the consent agenda, there was approval of a $16 million award, the largest in Maricopa's history. So I really feel like it deserves a round of applause.
Yes.
I know our provost played a really important role, our chancellor and others. I really see this as a major milestone for the district. And I know I'm personally very committed to seeing that this is the first of many gifts of this size and of this level of national importance. And I also want to say within the consent agenda and mentioned during the Rio Salado report was also a gift that came through Western Governors, but from the Axum Collaborative, another major newer philanthropic player. I believe that award was more like $100,000, but we need both. We need the big national level gifts, and we also need more of these 100K, what I'll call impact grants that can really plant a seed with these national players like Axum. So I look forward in the next academic year to work with all of you on a variety of issues, but in particular, my commitment really remains around this revenue stream of philanthropic attention and success in Maricopa. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Ms. Sullivan.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. I have one question for you, Dr. Gonzalez. This is going to make you work. So if I wanted to know more about intercollegiate athletics, who would I talk to? If I wanted to know more about intercollegiate athletics in community college space, who would I talk to?
Each of the vice presidents of student affairs, they typically have the athletic directors report under them. So that would be my advice.
Thank you. So all these years of working with Dr. Gonzalez, I've often asked him many questions, sought advice, sought guidance, and I wanted to express my appreciation to you even at this last minute before I sent you a text that said done instead of 2 more, 1 more, whatever. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. So on May 28th, I attended with some folks in the room, the Chandler Gilbert Chamber dinner at the invitation of Dr. Wooster. And they were the recipients of the Community Cup there. It was a very fun event. I wish I had known I needed to be in Western attire, but CJ was in his, Dr. Wooster was in his usual teal attire. I think I did manage to have some teal on me, so that was the best we could do, but that was great, and it was great fun, and congratulations to you for receiving that award. On June 1st, I attended the Audit and Finance Committee meeting. That was very informative and worthwhile. On June 4th, also attended the Route to Relief program. Remember when it started? Oh my, 5 years ago, and really was happy to see its life and the impact it had on so many individuals. That evening, I went to the Arizona Career Pathways graduation ceremony, also very moving and reminds us why we have the partners we do and the work that we do. It was very impressive. On June 10th, attended with Ms. Bittersmith the staff meeting, and as always, that was fun. And yes, you did rant, but appropriately so, based on that. And I think it was informative to the staff to know how we appreciate the relationships as we move forward to try to draw attention to what's important for our students. And it was a great opportunity to be there. So your ranting was very worthwhile. I'm glad to have supported that and know that you will continue to ramp as appropriate. So very good. On 6/17, I went to the Rio Salado ADE graduation. And again, these moments are very student-centric, and it reminds me that we as an institution need to be and remain student-centric so that we can change people's lives to the dignity of education and work. And I appreciate the opportunities to have been there to do that. I'm going to miss you, Pam. You've been a great colleague, and it's been a pleasure to learn from you and have you represent to us that conversation about students and with students and keep us centered there. So we miss you, Linda, wherever you are. And thank you, Ms. Davis, for your leadership as we conclude this academic year before we go into our month of darkness. Though I understand there is a meeting coming up next week that Ms. Butler and I will be attending, I believe, on June 30th. Yes, okay. So with that, thank you all for a great academic year and look forward to joining and seeing you in August. Thank you for all. And Dr. Gonzalez, thanks again. These years have been great working with you. I think we both kind of started a little bit together in our leadership, and it was a pleasure working with you. So thank you.
Ms. Butler, do you have any report you'd like to give?
Thank you, Secretary Davis. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there tonight. I attended the Audit and Finance Committee meeting on June 1st, and then was able to go to the Rio Salado High School equivalency graduation ceremony, which was absolutely wonderful. And that concludes my report. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Butler. I got to the Arizona Career Pathways graduation at the beginning of June, and every other thing that I wanted to go to, I couldn't go to because of work or other obligations. So I didn't get to some of the things that I really wanted to attend, but there's always next year, I hope. So Dr. Gonzalez, you know, when I came here, we go to a few national conferences, and they always have sessions on the search process. And I thought, I don't have to do those. We're never going to have to do that. And look at what has happened. And then I said, well, I'll be secretary because you don't have to do very much as secretary. And now look what has happened. So this has definitely been a bigger learning experience than I ever imagined. That's for sure. And I really appreciate your patience with us, Dr. Gunn, well, especially with me. He was there when I fell in DC and mangled my hand, and, you know, so I've put him through his paces, I guess, too. So, so we thank you. And Pam, we're going to miss you really, really badly. So thanks to all. Historically, the board doesn't meet during the month of July. If there's something that arises that needs our attention, we will call an emergency board meeting. Otherwise, our next board meetings will take place August 11th, which will be an agenda review with WebEx streaming services at 4:30. And then August 25th in this conference room, we will have our regular governing board meeting at 6:30. This concludes our meeting. Thank you everyone for your time. Please enjoy your summer. Let the record reflect that the board has adjourned at 8:07. Meeting adjourned.